want to talk briefly about Michael Steele, the Republican Party chairman. The Republican Party is not thrilled with their party chairman, Michael Steele, who's been, for lack of a better term, quite an embarrassment to the party. And I won't bore you with the bizarre media appearances over the last few months, but in a private meeting recently, GOP leaders delivered a blunt and at times heated message to RNC chairman Michael Steele, and the message was, quit meddling in policy. The plea was made during what was supposed to be a routine discussion about polling matters and other priorities in House Minority Leader John Boehner's office, but the session devolved into a heated discussion about the roles of congressional leadership and specifically about Michael Steele. And this is something we've been saying for a while, Lewis, that he seems to be getting involved in a lot of weird opinion stuff that I don't know if he's really speaking for the party on. Congressional leaders were particularly angry that Steele had in late August unveiled a seniors' health care bill of rights without consulting them. The statement of healthcare principles outlined in a Washington Post op-ed began with a robust defense of Medicare that puzzled some in the GOP, which is not known for its attachment to entitlement programs like Medicare. And since Steele took over the party earlier this year, congressional leaders and their staff have often cringed at the voluble chairman's gaffes and rolled their eyes at his unambiguous view that he alone leads the party. And a quote from a top House GOP leadership aide was, he's on a short leash here. So we'll see what happens with Michael Steele. I don't expect him to last too much longer unless we see a complete turnaround.
I don't know.
You're not concerned either way?
Not really. Not really.
How would you handle, Lewis, if you were in an interview, in a job interview, asked illegal questions? What would you do? Would you answer them? Would you answer truthfully if you didn't think your answer would hurt you? Would you tell the interviewer that question's illegal, even if you knew that more than likely it would lose the job for you? Would you base your answer on the requirements of the job instead? How would you react?
Well, if it was a great job that I really wanted, and I thought that I could answer it truthfully in a way that would benefit me, help my chances of getting the job, I'd just bite the bullet and answer the question.
And if the truth was something that wouldn't help, so for example, if you were asked, let's say you had a health issue that you knew would probably make you miss certain days of work, and they say, so are you pretty healthy? Did you miss a lot of work at your previous job, or something like that, where the true answer would hurt you? What would you do?
Well, but it were an illegal question?
Right.
Well, then I'd probably call them out on it.
Even though that would probably lose you the job too.
Well, it might be something that would lose me the job regardless of how I answer a question in an interview.
So a lot of people don't know there are many questions that are illegal to ask by interviewers. And a lot of times it's an untrained interviewer who thinks to ask these things in a friendly way. They don't even know that they're asking illegal questions. Other times that's not the case. And we have a few of them here. And Lewis, let's just go through them and I'll give some what I think would be good answers. You ask me the questions, I'll give what I think would be a good answer in some of these scenarios to avoid really answering and assuming we don't want to burn bridges by just saying, I'm not going to answer that.
Does your family mind the travel required for this position?
Well, I'm accustomed to significant business travel. I actually find being on the road kind of invigorating, and my track record has been really consistent under those travel conditions.
Are you religious? Will your religion prevent you from working extra hours or on weekends when we have a big project?
Well, I suppose everyone's religious kind of in their own way. I don't really foresee any circumstances that would interfere with the quality or commitment of my performance.
You have a very unusual last name. What is its origin?
Oh, it's really a mouthful, isn't it? I've always used my first name and last initial in my business email address. I find it's a lot easier for everybody.
Are you planning a family in the near future?
Currently, I'm really focused on my career, and, having a family is always a possibility. It's not really a priority to me at the moment. Now, I have to say, that one, you actually might be lying. I don't know that that's just kind of a very neutral answer. You actually might be lying. You might already have a family, and you might be planning to have one. So that I don't know that it's a great one, but let's continue.
How many more years do you see yourself in the workforce?
Before retiring? In today's world, people really don't retire like they used to. Some can't. My career and my need to earn an income are priorities that, I don't really foresee changing anytime in the near future. How do you think I did?
Very well. You'd make a great politician.
Well, a lot of these, I think, this is tough. And I've interviewed a lot of people, and I do think to myself, I've been asked some of these illegal questions. And once I was actually asked, so Dave, are you married, by the way? And I said no, but I knew that was actually an illegal question, and I wanted a job at the time. And I said, my instinct, it's like the Seinfeld episode where George is told to do the opposite of his instinct. My instinct was to say, that's actually an illegal question that you're not supposed to ask. Like you mentioned, I wanted the job, and I just said, no, I'm not married. But I think a lot of people, I think this is a good thing to think about. A lot of people don't know what illegal questions are, and answers.
Right. I think even a lot of employers don't know what illegal questions are.
A lot of employers don't know. A lot of interviewers don't know. And answers like, it's none of your concern, can quickly just end the interview. Whether you're not the reality of your situation would hurt you or not, it will end the interview almost right away.
Like with a last name like mine, okay, we asked that question about the origin of your last name.
Right.
Like you can imagine I get that in every interview, and I think it's just general curiosity on behalf of the interviewer.
But how many of those would refuse to hire Iranian left-handed Jews? We don't know.
We don't know.
We just don't know.
So I've got a pretty good record so far.
Okay.